this may be the last time I bring this company up in a conversation because I feel like we've given them enough free advertising over the past years, and I'm about ready to move on. But I had a long day a couple weeks ago, and some of you might have seen the post that I made on the DVC fan Instagram, instagram.com/the DVC Show, where I posted a picture of a Red Baron pizza, and I'd just gotten it out of the freezer. It was a little dented, and I was just saying, yeah, that basically sums up my day. And I put it in the oven and ate the whole thing and loved it. Well, Red Baron finally responded to something that we did on this channel, and they said, oh, no, please reach out to us, and we'll make that right. To which I responded back and said, oh, no, it was fine. I devoured the entire pizza. I loved every piece of it. There's no problem. It's fine that it was dented. I'm not concerned about that at all. We would love to work with you in some capacity if you would love us as much as we love you. So they said, give us your address and we'll send you something special.
Oh.
So, ladies and gentlemen, may I present what Red Baron sent us. First off, they apologized that my pizza was dented, and I got one coupon for a free Red Baron pizza.
You can't see the whole thing.
You can't even, well, I'm covering it up so that no one steals our barcode for our free pizza, because someone's going to do that. But
I don't think it's that
one
easy.
Free Red Baron pizza. Wait for it.
Like a $3 value.
A sheet of stickers which outline brands that I did not know were a part of. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't even read the back of this. Let me read the back of it while you look at the stickers. Thank you for being an incredible super fan of our products. Your support means the world to us, and we can't wait to continue making your experience even better. We love to hear from our biggest fans. Continue to follow us on social media and tag us so we can be a part of your special moments. Stay tuned for more exciting updates. I hope there are more exciting updates.
Listen,
actually, these aren't even stickers upon further review. This is just this is like the plain Jane postcard that they send. And last but not least, the Baron himself on a keychain right there.
The least they could have done was send all of us a keychain. That would have been something. But Amy wrote him a poem, for God's sake.
So after all of that, I turn it to you, DVC Show audience. Reach out to Red Baron and tell them, last chance, they should love us as much as we love them, or else, DiGiorno, you're next.
I do like a good DiGiorno.
Listen, I'm about to eat some pizza rolls from Tostino's, so...
Those are good.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show. I am your host, Paul Krieger, joined by the pizza lover herself, Amy Krieger.
Hello.
We've got Senior Sales Associate for the DVC Resale Market, Derek DeBoer.
Hey, now, I just love that story, too, just because there's some new intern that just came out of college that was hired by them, and the CEO said, listen, we've got these crazy pizza stalkers called the Kriegers. Can you do me a favor? Just send them whatever crap we have.
Well, they heard you on the crap, all right. And we've got, I'm just going to keep adding to the title here. We've got DVC contributor, videographer, editor, the Jeff Haslam. Put in the comments of this show what Jeff's official title should be, and we'll go from there.
Oh, Lord. That could go south in a hurry. You know, it's funny because at least Derek, who nobody likes, gives out free bucket hats. That's
and
way better than a keychain.
Last I heard, he has an entire garage full of World of DVC water bottles that will never get used.
I might. Jeff, what kind of shirt do you have on? It looks like you're wearing an ascot.
This is my new
What's an ascot?
Disneyland.
Oh, it's very nice. Oh, it's good. Very nice.
It's actually really cute, and I'm sad I didn't buy one.
I will back Derek up on this slightly, because when Jeff got on earlier, I go, "Do you have a harness on?" Like, I really didn't know what he was wearing. He was so close to the camera at the moment. And so, oh boy. Well, hey, happy to laugh with you all. I hope we bring a laugh to your Monday mornings or afternoons or whenever you choose to watch this show. For those of you wondering, where is our lovable fuzzy panda friend? He is still dealing with a broken tooth. So, newsflash. This is being filmed an hour after the last show, so he's still at the dentist. He still, an hour ago, sent me a picture from the dentist, and he is dealing with a tooth issue that involved biting into an olive. So, case in point, when you're eating that Red Baron pizza and you see that black olive, question whether or not there is a pit there, because it could bust your tooth.
I'm with Derek. He said in the show chat that this is what you get for eating olives. Yeah, you just stay clear altogether of olives. No olives.
Of olives.
I want to clarify that he did not lose his tooth biting into a Red Baron pizza.
Just in case Red Baron chooses this show to judge whether or not they're going to sponsor us. We would like to clarify, no one has, to our knowledge, bitten into a red pizza and lost a tooth. But there's a first for everything. You never know.
We're talking about their pizzas breaking people's teeth. That one guy called our stuff we sent him crap. Yeah, we're not working with those guys. We're done.
We're going to now go after Annie Chun's Simple Gourmet Asian Cuisine. That'll be our next attempt. Also a red. It's the same company, so we'll just get another keychain. So collect them all. All right. Well, for those of you that dislike our rambling, you're going to love us today. Tonight's show is all about Disney and DVC and the things that we miss and want back. I think we did this show kind of many moons ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago to a degree.
Yeah. It was just DVC related, though. I'd like to expand into
New Horizons.
Everything Disney and
DVC. So we're going to go around the room and kind of discuss what things we miss that have gone away that we really wish Disney or Disney Vacation Club would bring back. Before we get into it, a real sponsor, or our company, is who brings you this show every single week. And we love them for that. You know, they give us more than these keychains right here. And so if you want us to continue making this nonsense, please, as always.
He got distracted because his mom texted him and it came up with the computer.
It did. Yeah,
I thought he froze. I legitimately thought he froze.
She was just asking if we were settled back in from our trip.
Yeah, it comes across the screen and everything. Show love for our sponsors. The world of DVC. DVC Resale Market, where you can buy or sell a Disney Vacation Club contract. Monera Financial, who can assist in financing that DVC resale contract purchase. The DVC Rental Store, where you can try before you buy, rent some points, or rent out your own points for cash if you're not going to use them this year. And Unlocked Magic, where you can get discounted Walt Disney World or Universal Orlando tickets. And they also recently launched 10% off specialty party tickets like Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I have heard that probably that Christmas party that they do as well, that's going to have some discounted tickets later this year also. So unlockedmagic.com/DVC fan.
Good job.
I love that you guys have resorted to clapping for me when I successfully get through the plug these days.
Hey, as somebody that has to do this plug on a regular basis, I'll applaud anybody that can make it through on one take.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like, Jeff, you're there with me, and so is Amy, where it's like, it's not, we're not thinking as we're doing it anymore because we've done it so many times. And so if you start thinking about, ooh, pizza, ooh, squirrel, then you just get derailed very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
But please show some love to our companies because that's why we're here.
Yes.
They all do. They love our companies. Well, they love us.
I'm here because Paul tells me to be.
Yeah.
I feed you pizza and tell you you're pretty. We're talking this week about Dear Disney, DVC, here's what we miss, here's what we want back. I want to start with Jeff Haslam because he said he's got some doozies for us. And so, Jeff, I want you to kick us off. What is something you miss and you want back from Disney or Disney Vacation Club?
Get that little grumpy guy in your shoulder. Get that little
Oh, no, I'm not curmudgeoning yet. For those that don't know, I would like you to meet my shoulder curmudgeon. He will come on my shoulder when I'm about to get pissed off. But I'm not mad yet, so he's going to go off to the side. I think this is going to be on everybody's list, but it's a good one to talk about, and maybe somebody will hear us. Tables in Wonderland. Just bring it back. We just got back from Disneyland. Well, not all of us, because Derek hates fun, but most of us got back from Disneyland. And the fact that you can use a DVC discount at essentially any eating establishment in Disneyland just makes that trip so much more affordable, and it doesn't cost Disney anything. Like, I don't know. It needs to cover quick service as well. That's a pie in the sky, I realize, but Tables in Wonderland needs to make a comeback stat.
Yeah. It is something that we never got to take advantage of.
I know. And remember we were just thinking about buying it when it went away.
Yeah. It was finally the year where we're like, we're going to be here enough. We're going to do enough table service dining.
And here's the thing. They would sell more because first of all, you have to pay for Tables in Wonderland, or you had to pay. Second of all, we would choose going to a restaurant at Disney versus maybe somewhere else because of that 20% discount. And it was 20% on everything, your whole bill, including alcohol. That would steer us more towards eating, at Disney.
Well, and Disney, if you're listening and you want reasons and you want to justify bringing it back, I'll give you several. This summer, for Disney Vacation Club members and annual pass holders, you're offering 40% off select dining restaurants. That's unheard of. It saved us over $100 when we recently did our dining review at Hollywood and Vine. We're going to do some more this summer. It is driving us to go and do more dining reviews on property and spend more on property.
Driving people to those restaurants, which were probably being underused, which is why they offered on them. It's hard to get reservations for those days that offer those discounts right now.
For sure. And option number two to justify its return is that for the entirety of 2026, you are feeding kids for free that choose to do the Disney dining plan. So there's no argument to say that the cost perspective is not there. You will bring more people into these restaurants. You will make more money by offering this product again. And again, we're not talking about a product that was free. How much was it?
Do you remember, Jeff?
I want to say $125 a year.
Yeah.
But I could have just totally made that up. I actually don't know.
For some reason in my head, I see like 175.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was closer to 200. I think it was closer to 2.
So you would have to put in some work to make that worthwhile. But
175.
175. Okay.
Oh, well, but you could add a second membership for a spouse or a partner for $150, and for $50 is the add-on. It was actually only $150 for DVC members and pass holders. The $175 was for Florida residents.
Cool. Well, and that's what I was about to say is you want to capture dollars that you're not capturing right now. We know how Disney feels about us locals and us annual pass holders. In their mind, we don't make them enough money, even though they're not looking at it the right way, when we could do a whole show on that. If I'm a local and I'm only coming to the park for a few hours, I'm stopping at Chick-fil-A on the way. Unless we're doing a dining review or something for the show, I don't eat in the parks because it's too expensive. Make it 20% cheaper, I'm probably going to eat there every single time. Yeah. So there's a lot of people that feel the same way, that you're missing out on a lot of dollars.
And you're paying for the discount.
And you're
so you have to go a whole bunch to even make what you paid for that discount card back. And people are going to do that.
Yep. Or I'll take it. This is just going to be a whole show about this one topic. But this is something that you could easily roll into the Member Magic Beyond program as well. So DVC members get this discount, But if you have the member Magic Beyond, because you know that they want to increase the price of that eventually. So increase the price of that.
Give me a better dining discount included on alcohol.
You probably
I would buy a Magic Member Beyond for that. Yep.
Just for that, right? And that's the kicker with that program, is finding a way to get more people to buy it. And they've done a good job at that, but I think you could expand the program exponentially by doing that. But
well, you look at Universal and just the automatic discount you get just with your annual pass. Universal understands what the markup is on food. And I think it's only 10% at quick service. I'm pretty sure it's 10%, but the markup on food is like 60, 70% most places.
And the markup
right?
on alcohol is
meet in the middle, give us a discount, get more of our money that you're not getting, and you'll be happy with us.
Derek, what is hit the top of your list for something you want back?
I got a long list, but I'm going to start with one that when I told Annie, my wife, about this subject, this is literally the first thing, literally, that came to her mind. And she said, you got to mention this. And I thought, God, that's a perfect one. I miss the orchestra at the Grand Floridian. I miss that feeling when you walked into that lobby of the Grand Floridian. Was the coolest feeling in the whole entire world. You had an orchestra and they're playing music, and the lobby's beautiful to begin with, but that orchestra took things to a whole new level, and it just made everything so special and so cool. And you can't tell me that there's any other reason they did it other than money. That's it. People love it. I'm not saying you need an 86-piece orchestra. I'm just saying, even if you scale it back, put them back to where, the little tea room is now. So who knows what's that going to be? But you need to bring back the orchestra at the Grand Floridian, because it was just this extra feeling that made the Grand feel like no other resort whatsoever. And I miss it. And you can't tell me that the people at the Grand Floridian, said, well, we listened to our guests and our guests told us they hate that orchestra. Like, no one said that whatsoever. No. Everyone misses the orchestra. So bring back the orchestra.
If you look at what Universal did at Epic Universe, there is a huge component to both the live characters in the parks, but also this kind of entertainment, even around the resorts. I think at the resorts we've resorted. At the resorts, we've resorted to putting like 3 characters on a bus and driving them around all day to the different resorts and having them pop up, which is cool. But again, we were just at Disneyland, and characters just aimlessly walk around Disneyland everywhere. And that's such a magical experience. I understand in certain areas, maybe at Walt Disney World, why that might not be appropriate, and they might get too large of a crowd surrounding them. But still, it's such a cool experience. And Universal's figured out how to do it. They've got people walking around Burke. They've got, Igor's the most popular person in the world at Universal right now. And they still manage to have people enjoy him, and he doesn't get overrun with crowds. So just it's something the orchestra, bring it back.
Look what happens on Main Street when the Dapper Dans come out. Mm-hmm. Nobody's waiting to get their picture taken with them, but it adds some kinetic energy and some life to the otherwise kind of boring. Mm-hmm. You look at the violin guy at Epic Universe in the Dark Universe area, and you look at the characters at Disneyland. It adds movement, it adds color, it adds something fresh. You can rotate people out. I don't know. I'm with you on that one, Paul. Streetmosphere and music, all that stuff just has such an impact on the guests today.
Yeah.
Amy, what made your list?
All right. My big one is something that is present at very, very few resorts, and it used to be pretty much at all, or at least most, room service. I miss the ability to order room service, especially as a DVC member, We're not always in a hurry to go to the park. Sometimes we just want to enjoy the resorts. We want to sit on our balcony. We love to eat a meal on our balcony. And it's been so inconsistent since the pandemic. Like, do you remember we stayed at Beach Club in 2021, maybe in October, and they had some room service there, and now it's gone. Right now, I think Grand Floridian is the only resort serving room service, and it's breakfast and dinner only. There's nothing in between for lunch or anything.
No snack menu or anything.
Yeah. But I just miss having a room service menu, having that option. If you've had a long day, you just want to sit in your room, order some food where you don't have to go anywhere. You want to sit on your balcony. I miss that option, and I'm especially sad that I never got to try the Twilight Feast, which is when they would bring basically the ohana meal.
A vat full of noodles.
Yes, the ohana meal to your Polynesian room, and we never got to try it. I always wanted to sit on the balcony at the Polynesian and eat noodles and watch the fireworks. That was like a dream.
And we're sounding like a broken record on this show already. But let's go back to Jeff's point from earlier about food. And let's talk about dining again, because this goes hand in hand with that concept of I'm either in a Disney Vacation Club villa and I'm making a decision to potentially go off property or maybe order groceries and cook for myself versus having a room service option. So I feel like you would capture more money by having this available at more properties.
Yeah, I mean, when we just got back from Disneyland, and I was shocked. Amy and I talked about it. The Disneyland Hotel Villas have the thing just like on a cruise ship. If you want room service breakfast, you fill it out and hang it on your door.
Really?
They do, yeah. And I think it was only for breakfast. I did not see a dinner menu. I didn't honestly look that close because I knew we weren't going to be there. But Disneyland, the villas at the Disneyland Hotel, I'm assuming that's hotel wide. I can't imagine it's for DVC members only. But yeah, it wasn't a great huge menu, but it had all the breakfast things that you would want.
Right.
Fill it out and hang it on your door.
That's huge, though. Like, that would be a game changer.
That is one of our favorite things about cruising is we sit down the night before and we're like, we're going to sleep in. We're going to sit on our balcony and eat breakfast. Like, what do you want in the morning? I want a croissant. I want yogurt. And we put that on our door. And then by the time I wake up, like, it's like within like a little bit, it shows up. Like, that's a game changer in convenience, enjoyment. You know what I mean? I wish.
Yeah, and I'm sure it comes from Goofy's Kitchen. I'm sure that's where it comes from, as far as the kitchen that it comes from. But such an easy thing for them to do. And if they're offering it at one place,
well, and
why
Grand
not expand
Floridian's
that?
is just coming from Grand Floridian Cafe.
Sure.
You have the kitchens,
But room service always, even on a cruise ship, room service always has a surcharge. It always has a service charge, a convenience fee. They call it a number of different things, but I'll gladly pay it to not have to leave my room.
Yeah.
I just remember, and this was a while ago, is I've had so many trips before I became a Disney Vacation Club member where we'd stay at Dixie Landings, which is now Port Orleans. But my God, I think it was called the Sasagula Pizza Company or something like that, where you didn't have a lot to pick from. It legit was pizza, and I think maybe they had wings. That was it. But it was the greatest thing in the world because when you're in the parks all day, you come back, you don't feel like going to like a quick service. You don't want to go to a sit-down restaurant. So you just want to go back to your room. And I know all the moderate resorts, and I'm sure like the All-Stars did too, because I think I saw someone post in a show from a couple of weeks ago that was like, my favorite pizza is the one they used to serve at the All-Star. And you'd have these little golf carts that would go around, and they were busy all the flipping time, just going around delivering pizzas. And I'm like, why can't you even do that? Like, it's pizza.
Well, and it needs to be priced competitively too. That's the one thing about the pizza delivery, because we used to be All-Star people, Pop Century people. That's where we stayed. The pizza for like one large pizza was like $7 million. It was ridiculous when they still allow Flippers and Domino's or whatever to deliver to your room. Like, make it affordable so people will choose you over the competitor.
Never have I wanted room service so bad as when we were staying at Fort Wilderness Cabins. You remember we were so hungry and we were like, okay, we've got to get out. We've got to get in our golf cart. We got to drive over to the area with all the food.
And all we did was get it and bring it back to the cabin.
Right. They could have someone delivering that stuff for a charge. Just like you said, on a golf cart, delivering it to campsites, to cabins.
Right.
Or you could do it even cheaper than that. We currently live in a new development community, so there's active construction, and there's what I call the food truck comes around every day, and it is a pickup truck with an outfitted like kitchen on the back of it, and so they're selling food to the workers that are building houses. You could just drive that truck around like an ice cream truck, and have a cute little jingle that it plays as it's driving through the Fort Wilderness Cabins or driving through Old Key West, and wave it down, get your sandwich or your soup or whatever it has to offer as a special that day. Like there's some guy that always comes up on TikTok that I get served videos for that does this for a living. Like he drives around and he takes his truck different places and they load it up every morning, and they always have like a special, like it's quality food, like lasagna is the special one day. They do have tacos some days, so in case you want your Mexican fix. But great ideas. We have made Disney $1 million on this show already, and we are not even a third of the way through it. Well, we are a third. We are about halfway through it.
And it's so frustrating because we're sitting here and I'm getting even more angry about it because I'm like, we're not sitting here saying, you know what, we need a whole new fifth gate. We need blah, blah, blah. We're asking for a dude in a golf cart to deliver crappy, overpriced pizzas to our room, and we'll happily pay you. We're literally telling you, take our money. We're hungry. It's the end of a long day. If you just serve cheese pizza, that's it. And it could be terrible. And it could be covered in tooth-breaking olives. We don't care. We'll pay for it. Okay, that's it. Rant over. Where's that angry doll?
Oh, boy. Yeah, you need to pass along Mr. Anger Curmudgeon to Derek.
Pizza.
One that I'm sure anyone watching this show thought was going to come up eventually, I'll add to the list right now, which is Magical Express. I'm not going to sit here and say I want Magical Express to be free and I want them to bring back a free concept. But what I think you have to acknowledge is that the current paid model that Mears is offering is too much money to justify it in many situations. If you get into a family of 3 or 4, the cost per person just does not make sense. And you can easily get a ride share or a different type of transportation much cheaper to get there. So the price is too high. So if Disney can come in and put something that is at half that price, yes, it will likely operate at a loss. That specific division, you're going to solve multiple problems that you have caused by taking it away. It's going to essentially make more money than it used to because it used to be free. You have provided a service and a product that people desperately want to get to your parks. And last but not least, you are capturing people in that Disney bubble yet again. Because what's funny about this is Universal realized this, and now you can add to a Universal vacation package.
Did you see the dinosaur bus?
Yeah.
On Monday when we were...
Well, yeah, we arrived back home on Monday, and we were getting a bus to the economy parking lot, and next to it was the Universal bus. But Universal is now offering a shuttle service that you can add to Universal packages that'll take you either to and from a Disney resort to Universal or vice versa. And you can add that onto a package, and it is reasonably priced. So they understand that there is a value involved in providing this service to get people to their parks to spend money over there on food and other things. So
and let me just say, this seems so like incremental, but when we were waiting for the parking shuttle at the airport and I saw that bus covered in Jurassic Park, it was like the whole bus was like what velociraptors and the greenery and stuff. It made me want to drop everything I was doing and go to Universal. Like, just felt so much jealousy for the people getting on that bus. It's a driving advertisement. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And they've got like a Harry Potter one. They've got a Minions one. They have all these theme buses. And it reminds you of how cool it was to actually get on that bus that said Magical Express. Or even, they do still have some of the Disney Cruise Line buses around. But more often than not, those have even gone generic. But it was so special if you were getting on a Disney cruise and taking a bus from a Disney resort and going to the port to get on that special Disney Cruise Line bus. That made you want to be there. It made you start that vacation the moment you got into the hellhole that is MCO.
And it made you not want to leave. You know, why would I leave Disney? I've got all the transportation here that I need. Whereas if you have to take that alternative transportation, you're kind of like, oh, I have a rental car. Let's go here. Oh, I found out how easy it is to Uber. Let's go here. You know.
And other costs are related to this. You know, this goes hand to hand with luggage as well. We know that they've been testing this at some all-star resorts in bringing back the luggage service. Now, I think that is more related to the fact that Orlando International, or MCO, is having a severe issue with the quantity of luggage that is rotating through there. So much so that they're actually subsidizing companies to come up with solutions for off-site luggage, which I think this trial is part of. So again, you have a cost savings in bringing back that luggage service, whereas Disney maybe paid for that themselves previously. There's a subsidy offering them to bring it back, and other companies that want to assist them in doing so. So you took away these products for long enough that you can bring them back for cheaper than you were paying before. And I think it makes you more money in the process.
And
on top of that, too, going back to, sorry, Derek, 1 second. Going back to the Magic Express and the buses, one of the best parts of starting your Disney vacation was getting to watch the video of all the things that you were about to experience. And they could take that to a next level and teach you how to book your lightning lanes, or teach you how to use the app, or teach you how to do things that are they made so complicated as it is. And then coming back, more advertisements. You know, this next day could be free if you stop by a DVC booth. You know, just something to get you excited to come back on the next trip. On top of that, they've already got the minivans that are outrageously priced to go back and forth to the airport. People would much rather take a town car service or something like that if they want their own, you know, private vehicle. Make that more affordable and add it to the package if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Don't make people shop around, because they will, and they'll find cheaper options.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a great idea, Jeff. I was just going to say, it's just such a no-brainer when it came to branding. Like, I remember always seeing little kids in their strollers, and they would have what? Die-cast models of the Magical Express bus, right? And they would be holding them, everything else. Boy, I see so many kids playing with Mears buses now. And it's just so silly.
Many. Yeah,
like, it was such a perfect branding thing. And like Jeff said, there's a way to do it. Like, and you said too, Paul, we're not asking it to be free. So charge us. And guess what? While we're there, do, Clockwork Orange, peel our eyes back and show us videos on why we need to buy Lightning Lane and why we need to buy DVC, why we need to. We're willing. People will be willing to go through that, right? They're telling you, we don't mind that. Let us do it. So there is way. And that's a perfect thing, Jeff. Get people, hey, everybody, get your phones out, pal. And then you go ahead and tell them how to book Lightning Lanes and how to book your DVC tour while you're on a trip. So you make money and you're charging people for it, and nobody's going to complain about it. No one's going to complain.
Yeah, you don't have to use it. If it's not your jam, if you'd rather Uber or rent a car, that's on you. But make it easy for the people that want that bubble.
Boom.
And as an Orlando local, which people will comment that is a negative in some way, shape, or form, this will help with the traffic problem down here because you will have less people in Ubers and in rental cars. And the traffic is just insane at all times down here anymore. So it would really help alleviate some of that, which I think really increased when Magical Express went away because I'm pretty sure a lot of people use that service.
Yeah.
Well, and while we're talking about the bubble, I'll swing one more in here really quick. Package delivery back to your room.
Oh,
That is the thing that is not
Get
out
the
there right
curmudgeon
now.
on your shoulder. Tell your story, Jeff.
Well, okay.
This is different.
We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, okay.
I had an issue at Disneyland that's a whole show in and of itself. But I'm talking about if you're staying at a Disney resort and you buy a lightsaber, take it back to my room for me so I don't have to haul the damn thing around. There's been a little misinformation on the interwebs lately that's back. That is absolutely not back, but we desperately want it back. So make sure, it's such an easy thing for Disney. Like they used to do it and it was free.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure I would care if there was a $5 service fee if I had a ton of stuff. If I had a crap ton of stuffed animals that
Have to give.
I didn't want to carry around in a big bag.
so true.
I'll pay $5 to have it go back to my room.
I will give Disney credit with the fact that they have been better about offering the ability to ship things to your house, which actually alleviates more problems than not. And I feel like their shipping rates are pretty reasonable in some
They are
stances.
pretty reasonable.
So,
And that works in a lot of cases. For example, lightsabers. I don't want to take that on the plane either. But if my grandkid bought the Little Mermaid doll set and wants to play with it in the room when we get back and I ship it home, that doesn't do anything for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there should be an option to have that
Ship back
brought
to your
back.
resort. Yeah.
you could put it on the same golf cart that's delivering a yucky pizza to Derek.
Exactly.
I was just going to say that.
Well, and what's funny is I know that there are people, at least there used to be people that were employed at the hotels that kind of ran multiple of these errands among other things. So they would actually go get things for guests if there was an emergency situation. We met one of these individuals back when we were staying at BoardWalk during one of the hurricanes. And she was just explaining to us her role, but she was kind of a floater. And she would run errands and do things as they needed. And it every day looked a little bit different in terms of what her job was. And that's kind of really why she enjoyed it, because she was going all over the place. So if for some reason she had to run to CVS because some family's vacation was ruined because X, Y, or Z was forgotten, she would run there. And it would be magical that Disney took care of someone in that capacity. Amy, what's next on your list?
Okay, this is not the one that I'm going to say, but I just want to give a quick Dear Sanaa, please bring back the cilantro coconut vegetables. Everybody loved them. I don't know why you got rid of them. It's like the best thing. It made me like vegetables. Okay.
Except olives. Are olives in a vegetable? Are they a fat? What are on olives?
That's a deep cut
I think
right
they're
there.
technically a fruit, but I don't actually know.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Okay. Bring back the festivals of yesteryear. Bring back the food and wine cooking demonstrations and the specialty breakfast at Chefs de France and the festival center. What are they even doing with that building? I loved going in there when it was a festival center.
Doing nothing with it. That's for sure.
That's all I got.
Vegetables.
Vegetables.
Derek.
That's a good one. Vegetables and festival.
Derek, do you have
and
vegetables on your list anywhere?
Vegetable? No, not at all, unless they're on pizza. So I thought about this a lot, and this was the one that I was most passionate about. And it's because I'm a BoardWalk owner for a very long time, and I know there's plenty of fantastic BoardWalk owners out there, even folks that love the BoardWalk. What I want to come back, bring back the BoardWalk being an actual destination. Bring back a reason that my wife, Annie, laughed when she went on the app and it looked and said, why are they putting hours for the BoardWalk? like right next to the theme park, right next to all the other things to do, the hours for Disney Springs. The boardwalk right now is a shell of what it used to be, and it pains me. It pains me that when you walk on the boardwalk and you walk by the screen door gift shop, that after you pass that, there ain't nothing. There's nothing going on, meaning there's a DVC preview center so you can walk in and see a room, but the Jelly Rolls is now closed. There's nothing going on at Big River Grill, which has been closed for God knows how long, and they've not announced one thing. And then again, you've got Atlantic Dance, which hands down would make the most perfect, much needed quick service restaurant that the boardwalk so desperately needs. It's already set up for a kitchen because they do events there. You got plenty of space inside. You got it upstairs. You got it downstairs. People would come and eat there from the Yacht and Beach Club if it was. But right now, there's nothing going on. There's not even an event. You might, like I've said, you might walk in there on a Saturday night and there's 3 people, dancing to 80s music, Salt and Pepper. That's it. That's all you got going on at that boardwalk. The fact that they have not announced a replacement for Big River Grill is insane to me. The fact that Jelly Rolls, if they're talking about replacing it with a jazz club, really? Come on. And then you've got Atlantic Dance that's just sitting there. It kills me because what I would do, you make Jelly Rolls, you turn that into a sports bar. You need it to be some kind of a sports bar. You've already got TV, you got monitor, you can put TVs all over the place. You need a sports bar. Now that the Cake Bake Shoppy has taken over ESPN, which was the best place to go watch a game, my God, on NFL and college football Saturdays, it was such a vibe. That area, the boardwalk used to be so vibrant at night. And there might be people that might remember way back when you used to go there at night. They used to have tarot card readers. They used to have fortune tellers, like the games, everybody. The games were slammed. There was all the entertainers on the boardwalk. Jelly Rolls was hopping. Everything was going on. Now, we went there not that long ago at night, and it was like, man, it just feels so dead. So the boardwalk has such amazing potential, and it's such a huge part of my life and my memories that it needs to be restored to its former glory. ASAP. That's it.
I feel like I have to
agree
ask the
with
younger
that.
generation, like, is jazz making a comeback that I'm not aware of?
No, I'm sure in some way that they're going to incorporate IP of, Pixar movie Soul, and they're going to put it in there, and that's how, they think it's going to be popular. But it's not. It's the fact that you have the boardwalk. Boardwalk doesn't even serve full pizzas anymore. The boardwalk pizza window used to be able to go get a full pizza. Was it the best pizza in the world? No. Now you can't even get a full pizza because they tell you got to pay $10 for one slice of pizza. And sometimes the wait's apparently like 30 to 45 minutes to get one slice of pizza. The fact that they don't have a restaurant that you can just go sit outside like Big River used to be, sit right on the boardwalk, right around Crescent Lake. The fact that it's so underutilized, especially down there, and they've not announced one replacement yet is very upsetting to me.
Well, and you talked about the DVC Sales Center. If you want to go in and see a room, not true. I was there on Thanksgiving. We took my parents to Ellen Compass for Thanksgiving dinner, and I wanted to show them what a DVC room looks like. And we walked in, and she was like, "Oh, this is an information center. We can't show you around. We have to put you in the bus and take you to Saratoga." She's literally sitting in the studio, surrounded by kitchen, and they would not even let us in the door.
Wait, they're not even letting you look at the room anymore.
Not that day. I don't know if that's all the time, but they want you to go to Saratoga.
Or go to the Canada Pavilion, apparently.
Or the Canada Pavilion, yeah.
And see a Polynesian room. You just have to ask yourself on multiple occasions, like, where the thought process of a lot of these decisions are coming from. And you start to realize the disconnect, and that it's gotten so big within the Disney Corporation that there are just so many layers of crap, or a different word if Jeff is talking, that the real good ideas never make their way out. There's just people at the top that I guess have been around at Disney for eons that think that they understand this product in today's day of age. I don't even admit that I understand how a younger generation is perceiving this product. That question is still out there. We continue to try to solve for it in our internal marketing at resale market or rental store, because there is a question. Those people, their financial decisions are different than our generation, than Jeff's generation, than Derek's generation, than other generations. And so to have people at the top of the company maybe not listening to people that do have understanding of what things are popular and what things are going to work, there's just too many layers of crap.
Want me to go again?
We'll have you, yeah. End us off, Jeff, with one last good one. I feel like we've got enough content here where I would really love to come back around to this content and have a part 2, although Jeff will say we'll never have a part 2.
We don't do part 2s.
We will do a part 2. I want Panda here for this part 2 because I think he would have some really good ideas on this topic, and some of the other part 2s, it would make no sense without having Panda here as well. So end us off with a doozy, Jeff.
I'll just say this one, and Amy Kay and I talked about this while we were just at Disneyland this last week. Disney World needs to bring back late hours. Not late hours for resort guests. Disneyland is open from 8 to midnight on the weekends during the summer.
Yeah.
And the way that spreads out the crowds in such a confined space, because we did, and we were crazy for doing it, but it lets people have the option of going in the morning, going back, taking a nap, coming back, or starting their day later, or whatever. It is such a shame that Animal Kingdom is not open late. Yeah. It's ridiculous that Hollywood Studios has the most popular rides, so the ride times are always 90-minute waits. Kick it out 3 or 4 more hours. Let people spread their day out and not have to crush it in such a condensed time frame. Magic Kingdom, there's so much to do. It's hard to do in one day. Late hours, I know it seems like a weird thing to focus on, but I love being in the parks at night. I love how they light them. I love how the ambience changes, and we don't get that anymore out here. Unless you're staying at a deluxe resort and it's the third Thursday of the month, Magic Kingdom might be open a couple hours later. Also, take Frozen out and bring back Maelstrom. Anyway.
Jeff, I wish I could say that I was listening to anything you were saying for the past 2 minutes, but okay. Derek, one of his lights went out. And he's been moving the other one around, and it's just gotten worse as you've progressively been talking to now.
I always think when I plug these in, because I have one that's able to be plugged in, and then there's one that's not. So they're always fully charged. And by the time we start taping, I'm like, they're fully charged. Everything's going to be great. And then it's 3.5, 4 hours later, always towards the end of the last show. It's always, Jeff, do you have any last thoughts? It's 3, 2, 1, light goes out. So I'm like, I don't know how to do this.
It was so funny watching.
I was dying over here.
But no, I completely agree. It was such a fun feeling when we heard it over the intercom and they said, I don't know how, they said it, that Disneyland was open till midnight. And I was like, we all looked at each other, was like, midnight? We have all this time after the fireworks that we can still go back and ride something. And I love that. It made you not...
We didn't. We went to bed.
We did go to bed. But we
could have.
We could have.
We could have.
If we had stayed longer, I would have liked to come in and taken advantage of some of those later hours, and I wouldn't have been in the park all day long. Like Jeff said, it would have spread us out a little more and probably helped with some of the park congestion. I miss you. You really have to hustle when a park is only open from Epcot sometimes is 11 to 9 or 10 to 9. You have to really work to get things done in that amount of time. I don't know. I miss the late hours. I miss Animal Kingdom being open while it's actually dark out and you can enjoy the pretty ambiance and the lighting. And I just miss having some time to do even just like one ride after the fireworks. Yeah.
Well, and let us yet again make $1 million for the Walt Disney Company on this show. I will present 2 ideas. One, you test this by bringing some of those specialty events that you provide at Disneyland and you charge people for them. They do 90s night. They do special Pride nights. They do Star Wars nights. And you charge people and you see if they come in and spend longer days at the parks. And last but not least, let's look at what Universal does with their annual passes. And they provide that premier pass that gives you Express After 4. If you provided another layer of annual passes that were even more money to Walt Disney World annual pass holders, I guarantee you a lot of people are going to buy them, especially if you gave them something like Lightning Lane after 6. I don't know what you want to call it. Like something that locals would take advantage of with the rides, while the rest of the people that are not locals are watching the parade or watching the fireworks. It's gonna. I need your curmudgeon, Jeff. Like it's going to alleviate problems that they're having with capacity. It's going to get annual pass holders out of the park earlier during the day, which are going to leave the parks open for people that are vacationing, people that are coming from out of town and spending time here. And locals are going to hit the parks at like 6 or after and be there till midnight. And you're going to actually drive revenue at times when most people are leaving the parks. I just don't know how these ideas don't come up.
Yeah.
Well, look at Derek being the exception because he went on his day off, but I can't remember the last time I went to Animal Kingdom because I usually go to the parks after work, and Animal Kingdom is always closed when I'm done with my work day. I never get to experience my favorite park because it's not open late enough for me to get there on time.
Well, and
that's a miss.
Again, I'll justify that they do have a reasoning behind that, which is the animals. They don't want to.
But they did it for a while, so it can't have been too much because they had a nighttime safari. They have Pandora that's lit for a reason. They have the tree that does all the fancy things.
Right, like
after dark.
Closes the. Is it safari?
Close
the safari ride early. That's fine. Let us just experience the rest of the park in the evening.
They used to have the nighttime show that was really weird, but they had it over on the bay next to Everest.
They tried so much.
I liked it.
I have a hard time believing that it's disturbing the lions, and that's the reason that Everest can't run past 10.
And
aren't
apparently
lions nocturnal, anyhow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Epic Universe is able to basically call audibles now because they know that park originally did not have late hours, like it was still light out. And people apparently kept complaining and people kept saying, why can't you be open later? Why can't you be open later? They've been staying open apparently the last few nights till 10 p.m. And the park hours said 8, but they're staying open until 10 because people said, my God, this is the most beautiful park I've ever seen at night. But you guys shut down. And in Florida in the summertime, it's still light outside at 8 p.m. So they've been able to kind of stay open later. So, yeah.
And there's less morning people than there are people that enjoy the evening. Like I fully feel like more people would enjoy not hitting the parks until maybe 11, 12 or midday and then going into the evening more versus saying park opens at 5 a.m. and closes at 2.
Oh, that sounds perfect to me. So I can be in bed by 9. Perfect.
Well, but again, it goes back to giving people the option. There's still plenty of people that like to rope drop things. There's going to be the crew that's going to run straight to Pandora every single time, and that's great. Let them get that out of their way, and then maybe it won't be a 3.5-hour wait come 10 o'clock. I'm starting to get curmudgeon-y thinking about
On
this.
that note, that means Jeff's getting hungry as well.
Oh, yeah.
And It has been a long night of 3 shows for us, and this show's been long enough, and we will definitely have a part 2 because I'm curious to hear some thoughts that Panda has on this subject, as well as loop around to some of the others that I know Derek, Jeff, and Amy have. So we also want to hear from you in the comments of this video. Let us know your thoughts. What is your Dear Disney or Dear DVC, something that you want back that they've taken away over the years? Really excited to hear some of the stuff that you've come up with, and we will feature that on our second part of this show also. But that's going to do it for this week's episode of the DVC Show. We hope you enjoy it. Derek's lights are off. He's going to bed. We'll see you next Monday.
Help! Help!